All right, we're on.
All right. So this week we're learning about Enneagram type 1 and 2. And I bought Brandy's book. I know Amanda bought it too, didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah, I did, but it's not coming till May 5th.
Oh, I don't know how I got mine. Sorry.
Amazon? I don't know.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's all right.
Sold
That's just
out.
life.
Oopsie. Well, and I love it. Because when she was reading it last week, I was like, I like the way it describes everything. So I'll go ahead and read type 1.
Okay.
I'm type 2. So, but type 1, yeah, let me just read about them. Okay, type 1 puts their energy into getting things right, issues about integrity, maintaining standards, judged to be important, being responsible and self-reliant, suppressing personal needs and natural desires. They do everything to avoid making mistakes, losing self-control, violating social norms, at the core being so wrong, bad, that I'm totally unworthy of love and regard. So sad. Strengths. Let's talk about happy. Strengths are integrity, concern for improvement, putting forth a lot of effort, idealism, self-reliance, industriousness, keeper of high standards, self-restraint, being highly responsible. So you definitely want the ones get things done, pretty much, is the way I think. Kind of like the 8s. So if we go back to, where do we start? Page 90? Yeah, in our book. So type 1, the perfectionist. Talks about the healthy ones. I like to look at the healthy, average, and unhealthy. I think that's interesting. Healthy ones are committed to a life of service and integrity. They are balanced and responsible and able to forgive themselves and others for being imperfect. They are principled, but patient with the processes that slowly but surely make the world a better place. Average have judging and comparing minds that naturally spot errors and imperfections. They struggle to accept that imperfection is inevitable while fearing the tyranny of that critical voice in their head. The unhealthy ones they fixate on small imperfections. These ones are obsessed with micromanaging what they can, asserting control over something or someone is their only relief. So I don't know if you could picture somebody in your life that's a 1. That's what I like to do. So.
I feel sad for them. It's like,
No.
Well, one was my second thing. So that was, and I think people confuse me with being that because I was by myself so long and just had to do everything. But I'm so glad my test came out of 7. Came out of 7 with the 1 being the I guess the thing that I go to when I'm stressed.
Yeah, when you're
Right.
stressed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and being a business owner, you've got to
You got to
make
have some of that.
sure everything is done. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
true. Very true. My younger sister's a 1, and Mandy, and it's interesting to watch someone that you love struggle with some of these things. So she very much likes to have everything in alignment, routine, and you can tell when she's struggling, like she'll get a little has to manage, things, but then when she's got it under control, she's got it. It's really interesting to watch her. And then she's always yelling, or not yelling, but always saying to me how I always like to have fun. I have fun. She's like, can you help me have fun? So
Aw,
it's so cute.
that is cute. It's interesting too that she homeschools.
Yeah.
She has to control all those different
Oh, yeah.
kids and all
Yeah.
those lessons, and
She does it though.
yeah,
It's
she does.
amazing.
She does a good job.
Yeah. On page 93, it talks about their deadly sin. A little bit further down, it says, from the time they get up to the time they lie down, ones perceive a world, a world rife with errors and feel a burdened duty to correct it. There's no shortage of work to be done. Someone squeezed the toothpaste tube from the middle. The school secretary misspelled 2 words in the PTA newsletter. One of the kids didn't fold and hang their bath towel correctly. There's a fresh scratch on the car door, and the neighbors left for work, leaving their trash cans at the foot of the driveway without the lids on.
Without the lids on.
Who does that?
It's interesting.
Gives you a little insight into their daily battle.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting that the famous ones are Jerry Seinfeld. I would think he's,
I know.
the funny. And then Nelson Mandela, he seems so kind. And so I guess you could still be all those other things. But this is, oops, sorry. Ferocious beast is mad. But this is like what they're feeling inside, I guess, what they're dealing with in their mind.
And ones can go to 2s. So they can have like the wing of a 2. So that's how it can kind of.
Yes, I got
They
it.
can be more caring. Yeah, not that 2s are perfect. We'll get to that, but.
Pretty dang close,
Good
though.
and bad, and I love that it talks about, when they have their spiritual life in order, what a difference it makes and stuff, and how they can recognize and correct some of those things. But I think we all have a little bit of all of them in us.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. It's just a matter of recognizing which one stands out the most and keeping that balanced, I think.
Right.
I don't know. Oh, yeah. Okay. So 1s are among the 3 numbers in the anger triad. 8, 9, and 1 are the anger triad. I don't know. So, anything else stick out to you guys about 1s?
Did you say anger is the deadly sin of ones, but resentment is truer to their experience?
Oh, I didn't read that part.
That's on page 94. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
And I like it on the bottom of that. It says, several years ago on Saturday Night Live, Dana Carvey played a character named Eddie Strick, otherwise known as the Church Lady, who hosts a talk show called Church Chat. That is so funny. If they're not careful, average ones can adopt a similar Puritan-like attitude toward the world. Yes. Oh, I think we've all known a few church ladies in our life, right?
Yeah, for real.
I think I know one that you know, Cheryl. I'm sorry. Oh, that just slipped out. Oh, my
You're
God.
funny. Oh, my goodness. Okay, page 95. 1s have high expectations of others and themselves. I think they want everyone to behave properly and the right emotions, and I can see that with my sister. And she's an expert on Enneagram, so she's the first to talk.
Really? That's cool.
Yeah, so she loves to learn more and more about this, about being a 1 and what that means and the challenges, and I think it's really neat.
Yeah, I do too. Well, that's what it said in the introduction. I like this is to help us know ourselves and become, the best version of us, serve God, give ourselves grace, realizing we are not perfect, and then you give others grace. It kind of reminds me of when Jesus said, love others as you love yourself. You really have to know yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And learn how to manage the negative pieces, that.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. I think this is funny. On 96, it says, if you suspect someone's a 1, but you're not sure, watch how they react when they open a dishwasher someone else has loaded. If they pluck their tongue and start reloading it while muttering something like, good night, why can't people do this correctly? Then there's a better than 50-50 chance they're a 1. I thought that was funny.
Okay, sometimes I do that. That's a little 1 in me. I always have to redo it.
Do you?
So funny. And Wade, it's kind of a 1 and kind of a 5. So I'll see both of those, but he gets mad if somebody slams the door.
Oh, yeah.
Slam that, be careful. It's just funny. He doesn't mind the dishes all being a crazy mess. Yeah.
I laughed too hard at that part because my old roommate when I lived in Madison, my best friend Janae, she would do the same thing. I'm like, why do I even load it if you're just gonna rearrange it.
Right. Let her have that
Yep.
job. Yes.
If she's gonna do it, yeah,
Yep.
I'll that's right.
So then we switched. I rinsed and she put it in. I was like,
You just you work it out. That's
exactly.
perfect. I like it.
Me too. You have to work these things out when you live together. You just have to.
Yep.
Yeah. Which goes to page 99. Ones get the job done. So you want a 1 in your life for sure.
They're going to do
Because
it right.
they get it done. So those are some of the challenges that come with ones. But can you imagine a world without them? If it weren't for Steve Jobs' uncompromising passion for creating flawlessly designed products, there would be no Apple.
Can you imagine life without Apple?
Crazy. I know. Wow. I don't know. So that kind of summarizes up the 1. Does anything else stick out to you guys?
So was Martha Stewart a 1? Is that what they were saying? When one's like adequate, think of Martha Stewart. Was he saying she was the 1? Because she just seems so kind, but I guess she can get rattled if things aren't perfect.
Yeah, totally. Totally gotta be.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, see that thing about not putting setting out the screws and the nuts and bolts and all that stuff. I do that because I have put stuff together and parts are missing or I did it wrong. So I do that myself. And most of the men in my life that I know, my boys and stuff, they don't do that. They just start working and I'm like it. That drives me crazy when they start doing that. I'm like, okay, it's been a while. They're going to be angry because they can't find all the pieces and they don't know where the stuff is.
Right. It's really smart.
Yeah, that is smart. Definitely. All right, so let's jump to, let me make sure I didn't have anything else for the 1s. Nope, that was it.
I was thinking
Okay.
about the wings.
Oh, yeah.
Do ones always have either a 2 or a 9 wing, or can they have other wings?
I think it's always the 1 on either side of them. So it would have to be the 1 or the 9 from what I'm understanding.
Okay.
Yeah, so the 1 would go to a 2 or a 9.
Okay. I was curious.
But that, that's right. So I'm like, I guess I do go to a 1. Oh, sometimes. Sometimes. Rarely.
Let's learn about the 2, shall
All
we?
right, let's go to the 2s. This is me. My phone is blowing up. Okay. All right. So out of this cute little book. Okay, they put their energy into sensing the emotional needs of others and doing what pleases them, feeling good about being able to meet others' needs so well, creating good feelings in others, maintaining others' acceptance and approval, romantic attachment. I do everything I can to avoid disappointing others, feeling unappreciated, at the core being useless and dispensable, and subject to rejection. Yes. Strengths, yay. Being giving and helpful, being generous, being sensitive to the feelings of others, being supportive, being appreciative, being romantic, high energy, exuberance, expressiveness.
Cool.
Oh, here. What causes me stress? Here we go. Feeling needed by so many people and projects. Confusion about my own needs. Being needy myself and having unmet needs. Emotional upheavals resulting from investing so much in relationships, especially challenging ones. That is very spot on.
Cool.
So I was going to show you. My sister gave me this book.
Oh.
Every number has a book, and I forgot about it. So I was like, oh yeah, I have that book. But it's so cool because it goes into even more in depth. So I mean, the enneagram, you can read, the book we're doing, but it goes on and on. So if you really want to know more, because it talks about the core desire of a 2 is being appreciated, loved, and wanted. Core fear is being rejected, unwanted, being thought worthless. I just kind of read all that, but and it just goes into more details of the 2, so it's kind of fun.
That's cool.
Yeah. All right. So what is that page? 111. Oh, my phone. Okay, I'm going to shut it off. The helper is type 2. All right. Healthy 2s can often name their own needs and feelings without fear of losing relationships. They are generous in their efforts to love well and care for others. These happy, secure 2s also have appropriate boundaries, knowing what is theirs to do and what is not. That's a struggle. They create a comfortable, safe space for others and are often considered to be a friend to many. Loving and lovable, they adapt well to changing circumstances and are aware of the true self that exists beyond their relationships. So the average 2s are convinced that the expression of their own needs and feelings will automatically threaten the stability of their relationships. They are generous people, but they often consciously or subconsciously expect something in return for their efforts. They have poor boundaries and generally only know themselves in relation to other people. They are attracted to powerful people whom they expect to define them, and they'll use flattery to pull them in.
Oh, Brett.
No, exactly. I'm like, woo! Little did I know when I was 15,
Oh my God.
I was luring him in.
That's so funny.
Unhealthy 2s, oh, this is bad, are codependent in their desire to be loved. They will accept almost any substitute. Appreciation, neediness, companionship, and purely utilitarian relationships. These 2s are insecure, manipulative, and often play the role of the martyr. They don't give so much as invest, trying to earn love by meeting others' needs, but always expecting a high return on that investment. Sad.
Well, you're a healthy 2, girl.
I try, but I
see.
really can see how when I first started looking at the Enneagram, I read the average 2s and I was like, I can totally see that. Now, when I do something for somebody, I always check myself. Am I doing it because I want to bless them, or am I doing it to get something back? And I would never have figured that out if I hadn't read this. You just
think about that a lot too when I want to do something. What's the motive? Why am I doing this?
Mm-hmm.
And I always say, is it because God wants me to do it, or I just feel like I have to do it? And it's
right.
I think a lot of women say yes way too often, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, to feel loved and
Yeah.
Yep. The boundary thing is really important for me. I've had to work really hard on that as well. Keeping healthy boundaries, because I can cross over and feel like I have to fix people.
Right.
So that's a challenge. But on 114, the 2's deadly sin is pride. Yeah.
Really?
I know. 2's don't like to ask for help. And that is me. Like, it's the last resort. Yeah. My husband knows, like, I've gotten a lot better, but that is definitely something I have to work at. Like, I can do it all myself. I don't know why.
You can. And that's how you've succeeded in this business. Be in another state, you just get it done, you know?
Yeah.
But it is important to ask for help, because the people who ask for help solve the problem and move on faster.
Yes.
You know, you can get stuck if you try to do everything on your own and get bad feelings and possibly, you know, don't want to continue. So ask for help. I'm glad I know that about you now. I'm going to be checking in.
Uh-oh. Found out my secret. I know. Oh boy. Let's see what else stood out. Obviously, there's a pattern here. 2's need to be needed. They rely on other people needing them to bolster their fluctuating self-worth. That's on 115. Presenting a cheerful, likable image and helping others is their strategy for earning love. That makes me sad. For 2's, words of appreciation border on the intoxicating. Expressions of gratitude, like, what would I do without you? Or you're a lifesaver. Make a 2 feel good.
Maria talks about the helper's high a lot. You know, when you help somebody, you do feel good.
Yeah. It's true.
And I
It
think
is so
that's
true.
biblical. The more you give, the more you receive. You know, it's more blessed to give than receive. So
Yeah.
it's a good thing. Like you said, there's a healthy side to it.
Yes.
Very healthy.
Yeah. You just got to keep like everything in check. I like the famous twos, Mother Teresa. I don't know who. Do you know who the other one is?
Archbishop Desmond Tutu.
Desmond Tutu. I
I
have
haven't
no
heard of
idea. Princess Diana. I've always been fascinated with her.
Oh, I love her.
I know. I was so sad when she died. I was sad.
I remember watching the wedding.
Yes. Yep. Me too. And now, oh my gosh, kids are old.
Wait, hang on. That's Jonah. That's weird. Hey.
I think she's saying, go ahead, she's on mute.
Oh, go ahead. Okay. I was like, I hope everything's okay. Okay. Let's see at the bottom. Oh, okay. It talks about on 115. Pride is the deadly sin of the two, which sounds nonsensical, but twos appear to be more selfless and self-inflated. But pride lingers in the shadows of twos' hearts. It reveals itself in the way they focus on all their attention and energy on meeting the needs of others, while at the same time giving the impression they have no needs of their own. The sin of pride comes into play in the way twos believe other people are more needy than they are, and that they alone know best what others require. They relish in the myth of their own indispensability. Gosh.
I like the way when he first started talking about it, he was saying it's not all bad, but it's gonna go down before it goes up. Because I think twos are great. I mean, they do everything. They want to help people. I mean, I think most of it's genuine. I mean, I can't think it can go in the other way, but most of the time, people that are like that are genuinely helpful.
Yeah. A really crazy thing that happened a few years ago. My dad, it's an example that popped in my head. My dad got cancer, and so he was up in Madison going through his stem cell transplant, and so I was the only daughter in town, so I was kind of taking care of everything. And as a helper, I lost myself completely. I was taking care of my mom, I was taking care of my dad, I was taking care of their house, like everything. And so then my sweet aunt flew in and was trying to take over. And what do? Instead of letting go, I was the martyr. Like, I was not healthy at that point. So I actually drove up to Madison, surprised them. That was what I said, but I had to be the one helping. I don't know. It was the craziest thing. And at the time, I didn't really get it. I thought I was just, we're just going through this thing together. But like 6 months later, when my dad was better, I became very resentful, very angry at my family, because that whole time I had lost myself, all my needs, everything. That was the first time and I had to go to therapy for it and kind of get all that out. Why are you angry? Your dad's better. Like, it was just the strangest thing that happened, but I learned so much from it, how I have to keep my boundaries. I can be a helper, but I also have to allow other people to help as well. So I don't know.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I remember it was a long time ago, like at our first church. So I was in my 20s. And I remember somebody saying, you don't have to say yes to everything, because if you do, somebody else is going to miss their blessing.
Yep.
So we have to remember we're not called to do everything.
Yep.
Yeah, that's so good. That's so
Yeah.
good. And you know what? I'm proud of you too, because you got help. The helper had to go get some help, and
yes.
that's good.
Yeah, I just knew I didn't want to be that person where I was just getting angrier and more upset, and I couldn't figure it out, like, on my own. I just couldn't figure it out. Why am I so angry? What's going on? So, but like you said, looking back, I feel like I robbed my sweet aunt of her time. Here she was trying to come in and be helpful and have moments with her sister, and then I'm show up, but
I know she loves seeing you.
I mean, it was fine, but looking back, I'm like, okay, I need to learn from that. Like you said, making sure I don't have to do everything. So But I love being a 2. I do.
Yeah, you're an excellent 2.
Thank you. That's funny. Oh, it is 7. Wow, that went fast.
Yeah.
Did anything else stand out? Do we have any 3s in our group? What's the next?
We got to figure out next week.
I know. So if we have
The 3s want to be a winner, the performer. I can totally be a 3 sometimes, I think. And what's the 4 again?
The romantic.
the romantic.
Romantic.
So my 15-year-old, when he did it, he came up with being the romantic, and sounds weird, 15-year-old, like, but it actually is very fitting for him. He's
You
kind
know
of out
what?
there.
I could see Ethan doing that too because they're musicians.
Hmm.
I always think of the musician as the romantic.
Yeah, just kind of
That's interesting.
artistic and
Okay, Amy Winehouse.
yeah,
Thomas Burton, Vincent Van Gogh. Oh yeah.
the artist.
I can't wait to read that.
Really good.
Do you want to lead it, Kelly?
I can't be on next week. I think Grace Chapel's doing their classes starting on Monday.
Oh, that's right. Cool. I'll lead it. I don't mind leading it.
Okay, because I won't I hate that. But if we get to go back to church, they won't be doing it on Monday night again. So
Right.
but
That's okay.
twice a year, and so they said last night that the new one starts next Monday.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Thank you, Cheryl. I think that was awesome.
Yay, that was really fun. So fun.
I did find a couple of memes I put in the group for 1 and 2.
I saw them.
That was funny.
That's awesome.
There's so many out there. So
So
yeah,
good.
ladies, keep reading.
That's right.
And, I'll see y'all next week.
All right.
Bye. Oh, we have a chiropractor call tonight if y'all want to get on that.
Oh, are you hanging on for a little bit?
Let me stop the